right. Welcome to the third game of the evening, third review. In Stellar Wanderer DX. Fight, trade, mine, and explore the galaxy in this old school space combat simulator. You are a freelance pilot who survived an assassination attempt. Travel the open world, chase bounties, get new ships, upgrade your gear, and why not? Maybe even save humankind. Hmm. Right. So, from what I've been able to piece together, I think this might have been a mobile first game, if only because, like, the mobile version, the Android version, is just called Stellar Wanderer, no DX.
Mm.
And it's been out since at least last year, where this version came out this year of 2026. Um, and with that in mind, we got the Nintendo Switch version. So over to the Golux for detail.
So from the summary and stuff, I expected this game to be a bit more open. That it's more linear than I expected it to be.
Mm.
Um, at least so far as I've gotten, which is admittedly not super far. You only have like one main mission at a time, and while you can voluntarily take on submissions within that, although frankly I have not made enough money to have good enough equipment to do much of that. I suppose I probably could have done the map all of the nav points missions. But anyway. So yeah, you're transporting a guy and you get shot down, and he gives you a new ship and basically asks you to do some work for him in exchange. So you you get given a mission of what to do. Most of the missions are, well, all of the missions generally start with go to a place, which you are in a consistent, I don't know if I want to say star system, but consistent area of space. With there are several different zones which are connected by warp gates. Um, if you go in the wrong warp gate, that's not the one that your mission is, you get a game over. My first several minutes playing the game was spent accidentally going to the wrong warp gate on the first mission and then being very upset. Uh, large amounts of this game are spent flying in an approximately straight line, which is why you do have afterburners, which is somewhat important, but they consume your power, and you can only do them you can't keep doing them all the time. There's also just a time fast forward button that you can use whenever you're not near a major point of interest or there aren't any enemies nearby, and that just makes time pass 4 times faster, so you can get over the fly in a straight line thing faster. But yeah, the missions always start with like unless they are a local mission, which only one of the ones I've gotten to so far was fly to a warp gate, maybe to another couple of warp gates to get to your destination, and then you're either mining, which generally means finding an asteroid, shooting it until stuff comes off, and then flying close enough to the stuff that your automated tractor beam grabs it, and your guns are upgradable for you can get guns that are better for mining and tractor beams that are better for grabbing stuff, but if you have enough money. Sometimes they are an escort mission where you have to stay reasonably close to the thing you're escorting, because after they get to the jump point, you have to jump within 30 seconds, which you have to be within 700. I keep reading it as meters, but if this is space, it's got to be bigger than meters.
Mm-hmm.
uh, to use the warp gates, and you have to shoot pirates and stuff that attack them. There are some where your goal is to shoot down the things, and there are some where the goal is just to get there while it's dangerous. And then there are side missions like shooting down specific named enemies or coming back with a load of a certain amount of cargo, which, frankly, I think these are randomly generated because every one of the cargo missions that I saw, cargo side missions that I saw, required you to come back with like at least twice as much of a cargo as my default ship as the ship that I had has like maximum cargo capacity. And like if you're carrying missiles, that counts against your cargo capacity. And you might want to carry missiles because sometimes it takes a while to shoot down pirates. You do have a fairly decent aim assist system in that if you point at a thing long enough to lock on and stay approximately pointing in the right direction of the thing, it'll keep shooting at them directly. But yeah, the flow is just do the things, level up, which lets you slightly increase certain parameters. You also have to choose a class, which basically gives a significant boost to certain parameters. There's fighter, which makes you do more damage. There's trader, which makes you better at mining and I think gives you some hull protection. There's tanking, which gives you mostly armor and shield. And then the one that I picked was engineer, which gives you a better generator, which lets you like generator and output, which lets you like after boost for longer, and it makes it easier. Like I think it lets you equip more powerful stuff. But yeah, you just make money and buy and equip better stuff for your ship while also doing the missions the game gives you to progress the story. You do several jobs for the first guy, and then he hands you off to another guy. I did not like get super far in, so I presume it keeps going something like that, and then eventually there's a bit more of a serious plot than you just doing things, because it does kind of raise some questions to start off with, and frankly, the guys you're working for don't exactly seem like they're unsketchy. So I have no idea if the plot actually goes anywhere, but it seems like it ought to. My biggest thing with the game is some of the controls are a bit janky, like the targeting. I played on controller. I don't know if there are other options. But the changing target stuff is on the face buttons, which is important because one of the things you need to do when you're escorting a lot of the time is match speed, which you do by double tapping the afterburner thing, which otherwise is a on toggle, but it turns off automatically when it burns out. The right stick, I'm not sure what left and right do. It's called slide or something, or it's swipe, like
but maybe?
It didn't seem to be strafing, but up and down on that stick increases and decreases your speed, and you can end up... I don't know if it's supposed to be like this or it was a bug, but sometimes I ended up like getting stuck on a low or negative speed, and I had to like pop the afterburners for a second to get back up to the default normal maximum speed. And you don't have very fine control. Like your default maximum speed is 70, and you decelerate in units of like 16 or something. So basically there are 4 speeds lower than your starting speed between that and 0, and then you can't actually go backwards. Unless that was gravity that I was dealing with then, but it didn't seem like it was. And then, yeah, there's a lot of other semi-random business going on in the things. There are other people in the system that will also shoot at pirates when pirates happen, and pirates will sometimes happen randomly aside from the mission thing, and you are fairly free unless something is timed to do other stuff while you're doing the mission. So, for example, if you're going from point A to point B, uh, you can also pick up some cargo to sell by like mine some asteroids a little bit to pick up some stuff to sell when you get there that will, I don't know, help contribute towards either replenishing your missiles or buying new better guns or upgrading your engine or whatever. Um the open worldness seems to mostly be in that aspect, in that once you are in the zone you're supposed to be in, you're fairly free to go about stuff. It's just I believe they want you to limit yourself to only certain zones for at least most of the missions. Um, and yeah, that's I don't know what everything on the HUD does, honestly.
Mm.
Yeah, now that you mention it, the I think the some of the stuff in the lower right corner there, like the buttons that you tap to dock or use a jump gate, were probably touch buttons on the
Yeah, it looks like they could have been
mobile version.
touch screen buttons.
Would it have been tilt controls then? I don't know. I don't know how they would have, or maybe they just would have had a stick on the left corner. Anyway, I'm not. That's not the version I played. So yeah, that's more.
Did the Switch have anything to do with tilt? Or not tilt,
No,
touch?
no touch. I tried using touch a couple of times because, as I was trying to get to, some of the menus are really awkward. Like the market menu, you select. There's a left bar that has different categories and a right bar, and the right part of the window that has the individual things in each category. You use up and down to go between them to actually sell or purchase something. You have to use the L and R bumpers, and there's effectively no confirm, except for with both that and with leveling up, putting points in things. The way that you confirm is by backing out of the menu, which goes against all of my instincts, because normally when you're backing out of a menu, that's a cancel.
Yeah.
It's like, it's set up kind of like a normal multi-sale menu, except for there's no like, yes, actually do this transaction setting. It's just the transaction happens by default when you leave. And if you don't, or else happens immediately when you do the thing, but you can, because when you're buying stuff, there's a limited stock at the location. Also, things do have different prices in different locations, which is why there's a trader mode. I said that was one of the 4 classes, right?
I think so.
Fighter, tank, trader, and engineer. Anyway, and yeah, so you can buy stuff in one system where it's cheap and sell it in another system where it's more expensive, as long as that cooperates with your mission agenda. So yeah. Overall my general impressions are it's kind of clunky with some of the control stuff, especially in menus. And it's significantly more linear than the way it was described seems like it ought to be, and maybe then it feels like it wants to be. But again, if it was a mobile game initially, that might make sense. But otherwise, I think it's generally decent. Although I have to say, one of the more intriguing things about it is the story, so if that turns out to be disappointing, then that would be a significant knock against it. Oh, also, by default, for me at least, the sound effects were way too loud.
Yeah, I had to turn the game down significantly.
Like, the music is okay, the voice acting was maybe a little too loud, but part of it is that the gun noise is a harsh sound, but it was also just way too loud, and I had it took me also. You have to like be like in game to access the menu. You can't do it from like the main menu, really. So that's kind of annoying. Attention, all game makers! Please put an options screen on your main menu, and don't put too many things that are unskippable before that. Even on first boot, especially on first boot. This isn't the worst I've had it, but the fact that you have to be like in your thing to access the volume settings is annoying. And yeah, the music's nothing to write home about. So yeah, Adam, how much are they charging for this?
20 bone.
I hope the game is long at that price, but I think it probably is. So yeah.
I guess a note for the mobile version, it's free with ads.
Ah, that sounds obnoxious.
Probably is.
Oh yeah, you do also get scanned by the police when you're approaching warp gates a lot of the times. I believe there is contraband missions, but I didn't get to any of those. And yeah, you can, if you have enough money, like buy entire new ships and stuff, but... So yeah, that's pretty much what I got, I guess. It seems decent, but it is kind of straightforward and not as open as it initially made me expect. Although at least the mining is just shooting asteroids and picking stuff up instead of having to, like, set up mining facilities and stuff.
Yeah. Freelancer, this is not.
Mm-hmm. I think that's about what I've got.
All right, then. So that'll about do it for this game. Be sure to tune in after the break as we review Omomi.